Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nanda bintu Zulkifli. Me and my friend will be presenting project from subject Automotive Component Manufacturing with title Motorcycle Triple Clamp. As I mentioned before, our project title is Motorcycle Triple Clamp. Triple clamp is a very important part or component in assembly motorcycle. Without this, motorcycle cannot be assembled. The motorcycle wheels and axles are connected to the fork by set of adapters or mounts. Okay, this is known as a triple clamp. To complete this project, we have three objectives to be achieved. The first one is to build an automotive component utilizing return manufacturing technology. Second is to utilize manufacturing concept in producing a component. Third is to conduct an analysis of the component choosing using simulation in a real situation.
Thank you, Nadia, for a little briefing on the introduction for our project. So now we proceed to the next slide, which is the 3D, which is the manufacturing process. So there are three manufacturing processes that we use to develop our product. The first one is the 3D pattern process. The second one is the sand casting process, and the last one is the CNC process. Okay, so we move to the first process. The first process involves 3D pattern process, which why we use this process because in our methodology of doing on produce this product, we use a sand casting process. So first of all, we have to make the 3D pattern process by using the wood. So the first one, the first step for the 3D pattern process is after the design has been approved by our lecturer, then we proceed to generate the G code to make the pattern. And then the second one is we find a suitable wood block to make the pattern based on the drawing dimension that have been approved by the lecturer. And the third process is by after we have already generated the G code and already find the raw material, we proceed to the machining process where we use tool and mill diameter 5 to make the pattern. And then after we have finished the machining process, lastly we proceed to the finishing process. Where finishing process, as you can see on the picture, we cut the unwanted part, so there will be the pattern only that we want to produce. Okay, next we move to the second process, which is sand casting process. So on the sand casting process, after we have made the pattern, as you can see on the previous slide, our wood pattern, our mold, has a hole inside the pattern. So to overcome the problem on the sand casting process, the lab instructor of sand casting asked us to cover the hole to make sure the sand casting process went smooth. So the first of all, the first process that we need to do is by insert the clay into the mold pattern, where we have to close the hole to make sure the sand casting process went smooth. And then on the next, we proceed to making the mold pattern by using sand. As you can see on the second step, the picture of our pattern that we use to make sand casting process by using sand. And then for the third step is after we have already making the pattern, so we have to pouring the molten aluminium into the mold pattern. And then as you can see on the picture on our final product, that is our final product for sand casting process. So move to the final step is the finishing process. Same goes to the previous process where we cut unwanted part from the sand casting process. As you can see on the second step, there are a path for the molten to flow to make the pattern. So we cut the unwanted part by using a saw. And that's all from me for the first and the second process. So I pass my slide to Nurul to proceed to the last process.
Okay, for our last process, we use a CNC's 5-axis machining to make it our finishing process. First of all, we set the dentum by using a conventional machining, which is milling machine. And we by using the milling machine, we set the dentum 0 axis to find the center point, to make it the two center point. And then after that, we continue to creating a G code by using CATIA. On that CATIA software, we simulate our process, and then generate by simulate the process of machining, then G code will creating. And then after we create the G code, we continue our process with CNC 5-axis machining. After finish by using CNC 5-axis machining, we will get the result as all the hole is appear, and then but our surface is not so good, and then we continue with by using grinding to make it the surface the finishing on the surface. Okay, next slide is Gantt chart. This our planning to complete our project. We took around 10 weeks to complete our project.
Rahmatul Mazlifa, so I will present about the issue occurs during the manufacturing process. There are several issues occurs, which is the first issue is about the original triple arm is too big for mold, so we need to rescaling the original component by 20%. The second issue is during the mold process, the hole on the pattern will create a small dimension that ruin the mold for casting process because it was difficult to make a small radius part. So we decide to use wood filler and clay to fill the hole. So we need to reapply the wood filler until there's no crack on the wood. The third issue is aluminum part is created from the casting process, but that part has a unclear surface. So we need to create a hole using CNC machine and make a final machining for better surface. The last issue is profile do not same as the drawing because there's lack of tool length made at the laboratories. So we need to setting the machine and the pipe on the right place because we are maximize the tool length for machining to prevent tool from break. As a conclusion, we are not only learning about the component that make up the motorcycle automotive part, but we are also learning about manufacturing process. Despite the fact that we are using sand casting, same as previously stated, the traditional way for making triple clamp is stout sand casting, which each piece including both advantage and disadvantage. For the advantage, sand casting are capable to produce a complicated form. Also, low tooling and equipment costs can be recyclable the sand and possible to produce with a short time. In the other hand, disadvantage is material strength, possibility of high porosity and need of finishing and low tolerance on the surface. While the manufacturing technology we utilize is not conventional, it is important that we can produce car part in laboratories using laboratory equipment. That's all from us. Thank you.